Hello and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea, and today I would like to share with you more of the information I've received during my last QHHT Hypnosis session. I will be reading from a transcript, and when I refer to Lorrayne, I'm speaking on my practitioner who's asking me questions I prepared for the session. And when I refer to me, in this particular case, I'm referring to Source. I normally connect with the 25th dimension, but this time, Source surprised us and came in. If you've seen my previous videos in this session, then you already know what happened and what our reaction was. At any rate, it gets funnier as we go on because we're still during the session shaking our heads. Like sometimes the stuff is so metaphysical, even more metaphysical than usual. At any rate, the first two questions are on the surface about my cats. Really, what I'm curious about is to know how they react to the fact that we're gone all the time, which is the reason I left them in here, obviously, because otherwise I want to share them if they didn't have universal meaning. And they do, because if you are wondering why you don't feel like you're the same as usual, it's because we are gone pretty much always at this point. So I was very curious to have reflected in my cat's reactions to different times, different things that I do, what is actually happening, because they have no veil, so they know exactly what's going on. And the Source has a really interesting take on this. So I'm going to share it here, and Lorrayne is asking a question. Are my cats gone all the time too? And what about my daughter? You said that she's actually enjoying 3D and we won't be here for long. So is she spending more time here than I do? Me. So actually the cats are usually almost always gone. But the cats are not gone more than before, because in fact, I come back more often to the cats than to Clea. And we're just talking about this particular situation. But this is true across the board here, because the cats are more open and less resisting of hanging around and just waiting for the energy to go to where it needs to get to. And my experience in a cat, in this sense, is more pleasant. Not more interesting, but at least there's less resistance. And so, no, the cats are not gone as much as Clea, but they are certainly gone a whole lot. They always have been. This is the beauty, and Clea thinks of it as when I basically reminded her who I am during her plant medicine experience. The sensations that I experienced as my body, as I was doing that, as I was going through that experience, is very much how the cats live on a daily basis. And this is why that was preparation, because nothing ever happens by chance. That was preparation. This experience was preparation for what we are doing today. This feels to Clea very much like that experience, but in a much more black and white manner, much more clear manner, because this is where we are. She's not putting up resistance anymore to information coming in. So now it's time to remember. And so there's been, you see, the preparation. This is what time does, or what we experience as the passage of time. This is how the experience is evolving, do you see? And this is why we are here. This is why we are still here. There is still an evolution that's happening. The way that I explained this previously as the 25th is that we are still doing work in the background. Information is still being received and is still being integrated. The project, what we have termed as the project, is complete. The energy is available. However, by our integration of it, we are again getting to the point where we'll have the signal that will allow everybody, will be like a switch, and everybody from now on is allowed to play with new rules. Whether you think you're doing it at a 3D-like level, at a concrete level, whether this happens at 9D, 21D, 14D, wherever it might be. This is the trigger they're waiting for. We'll all be like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. We're going to do it this way now. And I look forward to this. This is going to be a much more fun experience. Now, because this information has been introduced a while ago, started being introduced a while ago, and has percolated already, now it's just a matter of, again, we're bringing it into the game at a 3D-like level. This is what we're doing. This is all it means when we say we're consciously becoming aware of it, meaning that when I focus on this particular experience as Clea, I remember. I do not forget myself fully as I used to do before. And while there is fun in that, which is the reason I keep this game going, now that game was becoming a little boring. And I'm introducing a twist. That's all there is to it. A twist where I can say, no, I want to be a little bit more free in this experience of 3D. I'm going to do a little magic is how we think about it. This is really all we're going to be doing on your earth. We're going to allow ourselves to be a little magic. I can do that all the time, and I can do this here. But what is the point? This is the game. These are the rules of the game. I don't want to do this here. Then all the games are going to be the same. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to do this there. I'm going to do it as every aspect of myself, and it's all going to be the same. What's the fun in that? There is no fun in that. Again, the fun is in the diversity of the experience available. That said, some experiences have not been fun. This particular experience on this planet has not been fun for a long time. We are removing it for this reason. Literally, this is all we're doing. We're removing it. And we decided to remove it and to play this energy along in a certain way. This is why it's taking us a certain amount of time. We've explained it from a physical perspective, as logistically, we needed to convince and persuade some of our fellow brothers and sisters who are aliens to rescue us, to rescue some of us. And that's fine, because you see, what we are doing is, again, we don't want everything in the matrix to be completely different, to where it's all like New Earth, and everybody knows that they're magic and that they can do whatever they want. Because then what's the fun? I will just remember myself all the time. But what's the fun? What's the fun in that? The fun for me is to forget myself. However, I don't want to forget myself to the degree I have done, because it was becoming very boring, very constrained, too structured. So now I'm introducing this twist that makes the game more dynamic. So now I have an option in certain instances to still forget myself and enjoy, but in certain instances to be able to play it differently and create something fun and a twist in my path in that particular experience. This is all we're doing, but this is very exciting for me, because basically I'm redoing all the games. All the games are going to be different now, and I'm really looking forward to enjoying that. Lorrayne, fantastic. Okay, I think this is the last cat question. Clea says, my cats have started meowing in a really loud and somewhat creepy way in the last few weeks, and Source was chuckling. This has never happened before. Why is this? So bottom line, my cats are acting very strange, very strange. Me, yeah, it's for attention. It's when I'm not focused on Clea, it's to call Clea back, to call me back. They just want to hang out. And yeah, it's true, because again, I'm not here as Clea very much, just because there is no need. And again, this is more of the same. There is nothing to do. There is nothing to create. And therefore, it becomes very repetitive, which of course, you know very well, we have experienced at this level, a lot of repetitive thoughts, and so on and so forth. But because again, we're just waiting. So there's really nothing better to do here. So if you do have pets, you will probably realize when you are an NPC, because your pets will be acting very strange. And then they will be so happy when you come back, because my cats go crazy when I'm here. And I can feel the difference. I know when I'm gone and when I'm not gone. For example, I know that right now I am here. And of course, my cats are like all over the place here, like circling, so wanting my attention. So look to your pets for feedback, because they know what's up. Lorrayne. Okay, next question. And this question pertains to pain and what does it mean? How does it feel like to not have a veil? Does it mean that you can predict things or know what's going on? So here we go. Since animals have no veil, do they know when they're going to die? For example, I remember seeing this documentary where the zebra was attacked by lions. It seemed very cruel, but I comforted myself by thinking that adrenaline kicks in and they don't feel the pain. However, I wonder if she knew this would happen that day, and that's why she was okay with it. I've seen animals scream while they were being eaten, and there is definitely terror involved. So I'm not sure that it's true that they know and accept. The NPC still has emotions and feelings of pain. Me, Source. As Clea, as many humans on this planet, I've experienced a lot of low vibe experiences. Some of these that Clea was referring to are very low vibe. Pain now is just like personality, something that we have created to make us feel like things are happening, things are real. This has been taken to, we discussed this before actually, as the 25th. This has been taken to the extreme here, because the point, the goal, was to make this game, this particular game on old Earth, look extra real, extra solid, extra 3D, which has been, we're not going to call it a mistake. There is no mistake, but it has been an unwanted consequence, basically, the fact that it's become very dark and very unfortunate, really. because it could have been a lot more fun. Of course, at a 3D level, this has been experienced as very, very painful. Again, pain was one of the main, if not the main, leverage that we used to make this game feel real. And so we understand at body level, pain is extremely unpleasant. And again, we're taking it up a notch or several notches here in the way that we have leveraged it. But so to go back to the question, I'm referring to a clear term that's being very lame here. Yeah, when you think of it that way, it has been. And again, no judgment. Claire definitely was judging this fact, but the fact is, yeah, it's been not fun. It's been not great. And this is why we're taking it down. We've taken down our entire planet. We've reshuffled all the games, has been the end result of that. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great and unexpected, which is awesome. So yeah, I did not enjoy this game. And so I understand that in focus form, this game was not enjoyable. That's the whole point. We said this many times, and we know that in focus form, I'm very aware that this is not enjoyable. And so these animals, are they aware? Do they know that they're going to die? They don't. Again, they see where the energy is going. They cannot necessarily predict the future, say, oh, today I'm going to get up and I'm going to turn around that tree and then, a snake is going to eat me. They don't know that because, again, you can always change the outcome of your reality in a second. But they do know where the energy is going. Truly, the intention is, I am done with this focus form and I'm moving on. This is boring. We have explained it as, when we're speaking as a 25th, we explained it as we decided to move on. And so we made something happen to the NPC body. So in this particular case, the animal, differently from us, is aware of what is happening, is aware of its intention. Whereas we always act surprised, and Source was chuckling, in human form. We're like, oh, I ended up in this accident. I didn't know I was setting this up for myself. We do know. We just don't want to know. Like, again, I want to be surprised. But so that's the difference. It doesn't mean that the zebra knew that it was going to be attacked by a pack of lions. But the zebra was aware that the intention was to leave, eventually, at least at that moment. Now, if the zebra changed her mind about leaving, then that wouldn't have happened or would have happened to somebody else. So just like before, and during the pandemic we've had here, lots of people chose to leave, but it doesn't really matter the way you set it up. Now, again, the difference is that because animals have no veil, they're aware of their intention. Whereas at this level, we aren't. Because again, part of the fun here is to forget. And it has been fun up until now, when we're introducing a new form of fun, which is conscious awareness. Okay, so now the next question is about someone we have in our community. I was curious about because I think he's the same person that was in our community a while ago and then left and he's come back. And also because he talks about a lot of things that are very matrix. And so I was curious to hear if he's still here. First of all, if he's an NPC or if he's still here. And also, what is the purpose of being in the group when he talks about a lot of things that it's almost like he doesn't know about what the 25th has told us at all. And now, just to recap here, in the past, when I have asked about him, the 25th said that some of us need to allow in everything. So we are able to allow in information from the 25th as well. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I was curious about the fact that it sounds like he's really not allowing anything in from the 25th. So that was the gist of my question. And here's Source's comment. Yeah, so I do enjoy when I focus on him, on this person. Yes, of course, it's the same person. And no, he's not an NPC. I do go back and focus on that experience. And it's just a fun thing that I do when I'm focused on him. And you see from an experiential perspective how it's being taken in the rest of the group. You see, again, we're talking about structure, and our structure is really suffocated and really impeded a lot of the fun we've had on this planet, just like in all the other games that had become stuck. And so really what he does, what he symbolizes is he brings in this movement. And of course, the stuff that is being said is we know it's not real. We all know. He knows it too, but he's doing it for fun. So in a very 3D way, he's introducing things that are it's almost like he's shaking the container. Now, does he have to do that? No, he doesn't have to do that. It's just fun. But it doesn't really matter what he says. I mean, we all know the truth. It doesn't really matter what we say. I might say that, we're going to send to new earth and we're all here and we're all improving the frequency. Well, what's the difference with what he's saying? It doesn't really matter. We all know what's actually happening. And so, yeah, he's just bringing in a little bit of excitement. Now, I know that it creates troubling thoughts sometimes in the rest of the group and even a degree of irritation. But again, he's shaking the container. So really, it's what we're going through. Now, why do we react as in, okay, well, we're going backwards here. What is he talking about? Because he does go overboard. And at some point, he'll start posting, a chain of 30 posts. And he was laughing. Source was laughing. And why do we find it annoying? Because we are in this wait mode and we really just don't want a lot of stuff to go on. We're kind of bored because it's been boring here for a long time. So we're kind of bored. We're still dealing with our own repetitive thoughts, etc. So we really don't want a lot of this shakeup going on in things that we find like, okay, we already know this is not real. Why? Why are you spewing all this again? It's like we're going backwards. And that's the thing, right? We are not interested in going backwards. We're not interested in saying, oh, the aliens will save us, or, oh, we really are from the fourth dimension, or I am a wise soul, a master, and I come back here to tell you peons what is going on. We're just not interested in that anymore. There's nothing wrong with that. We've done that for a long time, and that's why we're bored with it, because we're like, okay, well, the story has become a little rancid, a little stale. Again, what has been the point of the past 2 years? What we've experienced here as the past 2 years? It's been to bring in, to now open up to the truth of how things work so that we can revolutionize all the games. We cannot revolutionize the games with the same information we had before. We had this information before and we decided all of this, we're going to do something different now. And not that there is anything wrong with that information, but it just wasn't lending itself to being used to move forward. Again, if we talk about revolution, we're talking about revolution. We're not talking about evolution or ascension or improvement or nudging forward to something else. We are talking about revolution. This is exactly what is happening. We are changing all the games. You're not going to change them with this old information, this old energy that was very much, and we're going to say 3D, but even again, they do the same thing at 9D level. They do the same thing at 21D level. We might think, oh, they're so much more advanced. They know. No, they don't. It's still this imagined reality we're sharing. They might have a little bit more sophisticated views about it. They might not have the same views we have here. At least that's what we like to think of it, right? Because at the end of the day, a story is a story. It's made up. Stories are made up. But maybe at our level, we're like, again, we are victims. And thank God for the aliens that are coming and they're battling for us, because to us, it's always all about separation. And the good aliens are battling the bad aliens or whatever, and you're saving us. So this is what we mean by it's a little bit more low vibe than, or a lot more low vibe than, for example, in the 21st, where they might believe, no, we are all one. And again, doesn't mean they truly believe it. This is what they tell themselves, just like people who believe in religion here. Doesn't mean they actually embody it. They actually believe it. They just say, this is a story that I choose to put faith in, but they don't actually know it. That's why they have to put faith in it, because they don't embody it. They don't actually realize that's the truth, right? That we are all one. Same thing with the 21st dimension. They might believe that we are all one, but they don't truly, just the fact that they have to believe it, they don't truly embody it. They don't truly know it. Doesn't mean that that they have the knowledge that we have right now at a conscious level. We're like, I'm here speaking. This is me. There is only me. And this is all the things I've created and more. With this person, the example of this person bringing in this information, we are not going to move forward this would be a rehashing, by still rehashing the same things. Now, the search, there is a purpose for the search. We've all gotten here at this conscious awareness because of the search. And what is the search? We simply opened up and said, okay, I want to know. I'm not going to judge it. Just let me know. And then I will see how I take it. And many of us have taken it in different ways. We talked about resistance. The information has still been received, but depending on the personality, we say, I don't like this aspect of it. I don't like that aspect. I don't think this is good. Doesn't matter whether you think it's good or not good. You might think it's great and it works for you. You might think it's terrible and you're like, that's terrible. It's still what it is. And the source was laughing. There's nothing you can change about reality, the true reality, right? The way that the energy works. What I experience of myself is what it is. But this is the beauty of it, is that when I focus on individual forms, I can experience the same information differently. This is what personality is. So the point of all of this is to say that there is, if you want to think of it, there is a positive, you could take it as a positive, fun experience. The fact that we have this quote unquote crazy person, I'm sure it's a thought that's going through some of our minds. This crazy person is spouting these things. That's the way that Claire wrote it. He's spouting these things. But also at the same time, yeah, it is a little bit boring too, because it's kind of the same stuff we have done. So the energy there is a positive, and he absolutely is going to New Earth. But the information is kind of boring, which is the reason why we're kind of like, we're past this. And again, we're not interested in rehashing the past. And we're like, no, really, I mean, we want to get this done. We want to get out of here. So we're not going to go backwards and unknow what we now know. We were just talking about it earlier when we said you cannot unsee what you have seen. And this is true for everybody, whether you're resisting, not resisting, and all of that. The only people that are telling themselves they've not seen, and therefore they don't have to unsee, they just ignore, are the people that, those aspects of myself, they don't want this information consciously right now. Information is in the back of their minds already. We already said everyone has this information, because this information is not received within the matrix. The matrix is a dream. It's not real. The energy is there. The energy underlying it all is there. And this creation we have created, we're just allowing new rules in. This is all this is. When we say the information is being received, we're allowing in new rules. And the rules become part of the game. You know, this rule is available. And when you want to use it, you can. You don't have to use it. You can live like this and never use this rule, never use that rule, never use that other rule. But this rule is available. So some of us are like, whoa, new rule, I'm going to use this. This is what we are doing. This is what this conscious awareness means, that we are aware and we've allowed and we remember ourselves. We're okay. The rule is that we can remember ourselves. The rule is that when I come into these aspects of myself, I don't have to forget myself anymore. I can play fully like a cat. Does it mean that I have no veil? I have some resistance because the time is not right just yet. But I can look at things like a cat and be like, yeah, I'm in charge here. And it doesn't mean, we always get this question, then why can't I fly? Well, cats don't fly. They have no veil, but cats don't fly because we haven't changed all the rules just yet. On New Earth, we'll have completely new rules because it's a new board game. But in this board game, we're not going to change all the rules. We just introduced new rules, and some of us are taking advantage of them. Because of these new rules, we also changed the entire game. All the games have already been changed, not just here. All the games within the matrix, within this bigger game, have been changed. I hope you enjoyed this video. I thought it was kind of fun. And thank you, as always, for watching. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.